He hears our prayers, and He's not always going to answer it the way we want it to be answered, but He's always going to give you the peace you need to just make it through any trial you have. Right when I was born, the year I was born, my dad had a kidney transplant, and ever since then, my dad has just had health issues. He always seemed to make it through whatever he's going through. He had 2 kidney transplants, a back fusion, cancer, open heart surgery, but he always seemed to make it out, and it always just brought me comfort. I just knew God was there. I graduated high school, and my dad started getting a cough, and it just kind of was a cough just like pneumonia. It was getting a little bit worse, so we decided to go to the doctor, and they treated it as pneumonia, and he was in the hospital for like 2 days, and then they released him, and we thought it would kind of stop there, and he started to get a little bit better, and I started my mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I started into the missionary training center, and it was at home over Zoom, which was a huge blessing because I got to be home while my dad was pretty sick. About 3 weeks in to my 6-week experience, he went to the hospital again. And that was really difficult because I was trying to focus on training to go on a mission, learning Spanish, and that was hard. Every night after I was done on Zoom, it was about 7 o'clock, I'd drive up to the hospital and be there till about 11 at night, and drive back, and then I would just wake up the next morning and do basically the exact same thing. And I did that for quite a while. And I remember there's one experience, it was the Sunday before I flew out to Arkansas. My dad was really sick that day. He's throwing up a lot, and the doctors were really worried. So they took him to get a scan, and I was kind of alone in this hospital room. And I remember I knelt down at this bench that they had underneath the window, and I just poured out my heart, more than I think I've ever poured out my heart to God. Not necessarily asking why, but it was so painful to see my dad in pain. I remember I just told God, like, just give him my strength, give him what I have. Like, I can't watch this anymore. Like, just don't take him. Like, I need him. And if you need to give him my strength to do that, just like, I'll do anything. And I remember when I said that prayer, I just felt peace. A peace I can't even describe in words. And I just knew it would all be okay. So I continued to push forward, and I flew out to Arkansas that Wednesday, and I just started missionary work. And then that next Monday, I was calling my mom, and she told me that my dad had crashed in the hospital pretty bad. His health had declined quite a bit. So that next day on Tuesday, I called him, and I kind of said my final goodbyes, and we just kind of continued on with missionary work. And I remember that afternoon, we were mowing a lawn, and I felt the strongest urge I think I've ever felt from the Spirit to just call my mom. And I called her, and I knew it was the Spirit because it was just 30 seconds after my dad had passed away. And I just said, "Mom, can I just say a prayer with you over the phone?" And I did. My whole family was there in the hospital room. My dad had just passed away. And we just said a prayer. And it was over the phone. We were miles away. Oh, I was in Arkansas, they were in Utah. But it was the most powerful prayer I've ever said. And I hung up, and I kind of got myself together, and I just continued mowing the lawn. That following weekend, I flew home, and I got to go to my dad's funeral. Through the whole thing, I was still sad, and the sadness never left. I still am very sad. But I felt so much peace. And I can't describe it. I know God was there. That day when I was mowing a lawn, I just felt more power than I've ever felt. God was with me. He was pushing the lawnmower with me. And when I flew home, I just saw tiny miracles. And just those tiny miracles, just through the whole thing, I just knew God was there. I knew that God cared about me. And so I came back out on my mission. I just spent that weekend there, and I came back out, and I've been serving since. I can't deny the peace I felt. I can't deny what I know to be true. And I just know that God cares about his children. I know that families will be together forever. I know that God would never just leave us without our family. He loves us and he wants us to be together. Those blessings are so essential to our lives. Anyone can know that for themselves. Just ask God. Families will be together forever. I am so happy to know that my dad's in a good place and that God is taking care of it all. God kept his promise. It all is okay.